She said, "Grandmother, why are your eyes so huge?" The wolf said, "So I can see you better." She saw that her grandmother's ears were long. She said, "Grandmother, why are your ears so long?" The wolf said, "So I can hear you better." She saw that her grandmother's teeth were sharp. She said, "Grandmother, why are your teeth so sharp?" The wolf said, "So I can eat you better." And then he jumped up from the bed and chased Little Red Riding Hood. Little Red Riding Hood ran out of the house and yelled, "Please help me." A woodsman working in the forest nearby heard Little Red Riding Hood. He came to help. He cut the belly of the wolf and got the grandmother out. Little Red Riding Hood learned to always listen to her mother. There are 30 questions and answers on the above story with very easy words for kids aged from 5 to 7-year-old to understand. 1. Who is the main character of the story? Little Red Riding Hood. 2. Where did Little Red Riding Hood's mother ask her to go? To visit her grandmother. 3. Where did Little Red Riding Hood's grandmother live? On the other side of the forest. 4. What did Little Red Riding Hood's mother tell her to do on the way to her grandmother's house? To go straight to her grandmother's house and not talk to strangers. 5. What did Little Red Riding Hood carry with her to her grandmother's house? A basket full of bread. 6. What did Little Red Riding Hood see in the forest that distracted her? Birds singing songs in a tree. 7. What time of day did Little Red Riding Hood realize that she was running late? Afternoon, which had passed and it had become evening. 8. Who did Little Red Riding Hood meet on the way to her grandmother's house? A wolf. 9. What did the wolf ask Little Red Riding Hood? Where she was going and where her grandmother lived. 10. Did Little Red Riding Hood tell the truth to the wolf? Yes, she told him she was going to her grandmother's house and where she lived. 11. What did the wolf do after Little Red Riding Hood ran off? He ran even faster and got to the grandmother's house first. 12. What did the wolf do when he reached the grandmother's house? He knocked on the door and made his voice sound like Little Red Riding Hood. 13. Did the grandmother recognize that it was the wolf and not Little Red Riding Hood? No, she thought it was Little Red Riding Hood and let him in. 14. What did the wolf do when he got inside the grandmother's house? He ate the grandmother. 15. What did Little Red Riding Hood see when she arrived at her grandmother's house? Her grandmother's eyes were huge. 16. What did Little Red Riding Hood ask her grandmother? Why her eyes were so huge. 17. What did the wolf say when Little Red Riding Hood asked him why her grandmother's eyes were so huge? That it was so he could see her better. 18. What did Little Red Riding Hood see when she looked at her grandmother's ears? They were long. 19. What did Little Red Riding Hood ask her grandmother about her ears? Why they were so long. 20. What did the wolf say when Little Red Riding Hood asked him why her grandmother's ears were so long? That it was so he could hear her better. 21. What did Little Red Riding Hood see when she looked at her grandmother's teeth? They were sharp. 22. What did Little Red Riding Hood ask her grandmother about her teeth? Why they were so sharp. 23. What did the wolf say when Little Red Riding Hood asked him why her grandmother's teeth were so sharp? That it was so he could eat her better. 24. What did the wolf do when Little Red Riding Hood realized he was not her grandmother? He jumped up from the bed and chased Little Red Riding Hood. 25. What did Little Red Riding Hood do when the wolf chased her? She ran out of the house and yelled for help. 26. Who heard Little Red Riding Hood yelling for help? A woodsman working in the forest nearby. 27. What did the woodsman do when he heard Little Red Riding Hood? He came to help. 28. What did the woodsman do to save Little Red Riding Hood and her grandmother? He cut the belly of the wolf and got the grandmother out. 29. What did Little Red Riding Hood learn from her experience? To always listen to her mother. 30. What did Little Red Riding Hood see when she was running to her grandmother's house in the afternoon? The wolf ran faster and got to the grandmother's house first.